everybody. Good afternoon. Or evening. It's 7. And yeah, I'm back after a little hiatus, and I'll get into that here in a second. But apparently, there's some breaking news out of Colorado. Apparently, another nutless wonder, pro-Palestinian again. As soon as you say that, you know he's a fucking idiot. Apparently, hurled Molotov cocktails at participants at a walk held to support the hostages still held in Gaza. So obviously, he's a third world desert rat. FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino have classified the incident as a terrorist attack, as they should have. Organizers described the gathering as a peaceful walk to show solidarity with the hostages, their families, and a plea for their release. And this is when that subhuman decided it would be a good time to attack people. He was shouting pro-Palestinian propaganda with a thick accent. I don't understand these people. And I'm assuming right now, so I could be wrong, but I'm assuming he's probably Muslim or has a Muslim in his family, and they just try to describe themselves as the religion of peace, and then they go around and apparently there were children burnt, other people were burnt and hurt while he was yelling pro Palestinian propaganda in Colorado. Hopefully someone put a bullet in his head and he's no longer addicted to oxygen at this point. If not, I have to ask why. Why wasn't he put down like a rabid animal? We need to stop treating these people like they're people. They're not. They are evil incarnate. Anybody who does this at a peaceful rally is evil, and they should be killed. I don't think the police, when they show up, should be there to arrest anybody. They should be there to put bullets in heads and then dump the guy in a ditch. Send his family the bill for the cleanup and the bullet. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. It's disgusting. I don't know. I got nothing else on that. That's just horrible. And I hope that if they did shoot the guy, he felt every second that he could of pain before he passed, because now he'll have hell to look forward to. But I don't know. This is still coming out. As I get more information, I'll be more than glad to share it with you all. But again, in Colorado, a pro-Palestinian desert rat was throwing Molotov cocktails at people who were there to support the hostages in Gaza. And apparently men, women, and children were burnt during the, I don't want to call it the explosion, but, when the Molotov cocktail hit. And if you don't know what a Molotov cocktail is, it's just a glass jar or bottle filled with gasoline or something that's flammable with a rag stuffed in the top, lit, and then thrown. So when it hits, it doesn't really, it's not so much an explosion, but it spreads and it's fire and it's not a good thing. So hope anybody who got hurt is okay and they're not seriously hurt. And I hope the guy who threw it was seriously hurt and injured and felt every second of it. Apparently, I'm trying to see if they have a name for the guy yet. No name that I can see yet. But as soon as I hear something, I will let you all know immediately. Not a good way to start off my first show. I mean, it's horrible news. But, it's the world we live in now. We have to be aware. We have to be, situationally aware no matter where you go at this point. You just can't assume the best when you go out with your family or by yourself. Know what's going on around you. Know where the exits are. All those things that you would always assume, well, if someone tells you that, they're just paranoid. The guy's crazy. I don't got to do all that. You got to do all that. I mean, these people at this march, I'm sure, weren't thinking about it with Molotov cocktails thrown at them. So just be situationally aware when you go out from now on. And if you see something, say something. I know that's so cliche, but if you're out and you see something that's suspicious, tell a police officer. Don't just assume that it's nothing. Let the police look into it and then tell you, though, it's nothing, it's fine. But if you see something, say something. And again, I urge everyone, especially Jewish people, to get a CCW in your state. Get a concealed carry weapon permit. Take the class, carry the gun. Protect yourselves. I'm not saying police officers can't. I'm saying police officers can't get there as soon as they need to get most of the time. You were there. Help yourself. Help your family. Depend on you. Carry a weapon legally and be trained in how to use it. And don't hesitate. God forbid the time comes you have to put somebody down. When that time comes and you have to drop the hammer, drop it. Don't hesitate. because they're not going to hesitate with you. Like this guy at the Molotov cocktails, he did not hesitate a second, started lobbing them at people. One person, if there was one armed person in that crowd, nobody would have got hurt. I can guarantee it. Nobody would have been hurt. But again, my heart goes out to anybody who's injured or hurt or killed in that. And I hope that the guy that did it suffers more pain than any one of us can imagine for the short remainder of his pathetic, useless, meaningless life. And if anybody who supports that, or the two Jewish people that were killed earlier in D.C., if they support it, fuck you. You're an animal. And I hope they hope karma catches up with you, and what you hope happens to other people is done to you. That's all I can wish for you. And that's that. That's my rant. That's the breaking news. But yeah, I'm back. I've been gone for about 3-4 months. And I want to get into that now, where I've been, kind of explain that. I know the 6 people that followed me before I left, I've got some emails and, hey, where you been? And what's going on? So first of all, I want to thank everybody that's helped me, and I'll get into what's been going on. A friend of mine, Fred Profiter, started a GoFundMe page for me because I haven't worked. I've been out of work for quite a while. Everything I have is behind, everything. And I'm not looking for pity. I'm just stating facts. So that the people who helped me with the GoFundMe, I appreciate it. Thank you. That money was not wasted. It's been put to things that I need to keep a roof over my head and food in my fat belly. So thank you. I want to thank, like I said, again, Fred Profiter, my family, Carolyn Poston, my son Ryan, friend of mine Stacy, a lot of people, everybody who's helped me. And if I forget your name, please don't take it personally. It's not personal. I'm old, and my brain is rattled, so I forget things. But don't take it personal if I don't mention your name. Trust me, you are more than appreciated. I appreciate you, and I love you, and I appreciate all the help. So let's get into what happened, and then we can get into the political part of stuff. February 4th of this year, I was at work. I think it was a Tuesday. And for the week prior, I was feeling really crappy, running a fever of 100, 101, up to 102. But that particular day at work, I brought a thermometer with me because I wanted to make sure I was doing good. And about noon, I took my temperature. It was 103.5. I was sweating. I could barely stand. I could barely walk. I felt weak. So I told the people I work with, hey, I got to go. I got to get to the hospital. There's something wrong. I automatically assumed the flu. I had a flu or something. So I wasn't that concerned. So I got to the hospital with the Frederick Health Hospital. Avoid that if you can. I would drive the extra 20 minutes to go to, if you live in the area, Meredith and Hagerstown or Carroll County General, or even down to Shady Grove. I would avoid Frederick Memorial or Frederick Health at all costs. Anyway, I got there, so they swabbed my nose, and yes, I had the flu. Then they also did I think it was called a CAT scan, and they said my lungs had fluid in my right lungs. They said it looked like I had pneumonia, which made sense to me because I had a fever. I felt like I just got hit by the back truck. And then I've been running a marathon uphill the whole week. I said, okay, that explains a lot. So they're going to admit me. So I'm taking off my clothes to put on the assless gown. And the nurse goes, what's wrong with your foot? And I was like, I don't know. You tell me. What's wrong with my foot? And this is from the hospital. And she said, it's really red and swollen. Let me get a doctor down here real quick. So the doctor came down, and they were looking at my foot, and he's pushing on it. And it looked like one of those Stretch Armstrongs. If you push in, it takes a second for it to come back. He's like, you have a really bad infection. Let me get you scheduled for surgery so we can try to clean that out. At that point, I was so sick, I didn't care. He could have told me I had Ebola and they had to have a witch doctor come in and treat me. I wouldn't have cared. I was that sick. I didn't care. So the next day, they got me into surgery. And the next couple of pictures are kind of graphic. So if you have kids in the room or you're kind of squeamish, you might want to look away. So after the first surgery, that's what it looked like. What they did is they put 3 cuts into the top of my foot. And if you see that red thing looks like a string, they packed the wounds with, I don't want to say cloth, but with gauze that had been treated with antibacterial medicine. So it would try to fight the infection that was in there. And you can see the rest of my foot is still red and swollen and shiny. It was very swollen. That hurt. I can't express to you how much that hurt. It hurt more when they pulled the packing out to repack it. About 2 days later, it was no better, and the doctor said, hey, we're going to have to go back in and do the same thing again. So after the second surgery, this is what it looked like. Let me pull that up for you. Oh, that's the wrong one. So here we go. Second surgery, there we go. This is the second surgery. That's before they packed it again. They made the 3 cuts a little bit wider and a little bit deeper into my foot to try to get back in there. It wasn't as swollen then because they'd started to get some infection out. And if you look on the left side of my foot towards my ankle, there's a smaller cut. They did that too to help drain what was in there. Again, they had to pack this up every day, 3 times a day. So they were packing it and unpacking it, making sure. Again, I can't express to you how much that hurt. It was extremely painful. Just looking at it just reminds me how painful it was. So I was in the hospital with Frederick for about a month and a half, almost 2 months. I was very close to 2 months. So they let me go, and I had a follow-up at the VA in Martinsburg. That's where I went for my follow-up 10 days later. I thought I was fine. My foot wasn't as swollen. It was still a little red and a little warm, but I'm thinking, hey, that's just how things go. I just had surgery. I had 4 surgeries in a month. So I'm thinking, okay, that's how it goes. So I went to the Martinsburg VA in West Virginia for my follow-up with the infectious disease doctor. As soon as he started looking at my foot, he said, I want you to go down to the ER. I'm going to call ahead and let them know you're coming. We're going to go ahead and admit you. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He said, you have an infection in your foot that's bad. I want them to get in there and clean it out. So I went down to the ER, and they admitted me. Dr. Guilford, who was a podiatrist at Martinsburg, West Virginia VA Hospital, was the attending doctor for me and the surgeon. Can't say enough good things about him. He explained everything, all the questions I had. He explained them. The nurses were great. I have no complaints at all about the Martinsburg, West Virginia VA. I thank you. Take my hat off to them. As soon as I got to the hospital, they admitted me. I got to my room. Dr. Guilford came in and said, look, we're going to do surgery tomorrow. And I want to be completely honest with you. This infection's bad. There is a possibility you're going to lose your lower half of your leg from mid-shin down. He said, I'm going to do everything I can to keep it. He goes, it depends on what it looks like once I get in there. He goes, but that's a possibility. I just want you to prepare for it. And he explained to me how that would work. And of course, I was scared. I mean, who wouldn't be? So I really didn't have any questions because I was kind of stunned. So I didn't sleep much that night. The next morning, the nurses came in, so we're going to bring you down to the operating room. Went down there. The OR nurse, kind of walked me through everything, what was going to happen. Dr. Guilford came in and kind of went over things again, what he was going to be looking for, what he was going to do. Again, I was scared. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I cried. I was very scared. But yeah, so the next picture is very graphic. So I just want to give you, and I'm not trying to, it's not a trigger warning or anything like that. I just want you to be prepared because it's pretty horrible. So I went down there, had my surgery. I think it lasted an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, I think. I don't remember. I was out. Woke up or came to in the recovery room. They wheeled me back up to my room. Dr. Guilford came in. My foot had been wrapped, so I hadn't seen it. He said, I want you to brace yourself. Number one, I was happy that I still had my foot. So I didn't care from that point on. I was ecstatic. Hey, it's still there. He said it was pretty bad. He goes, as soon as I cut into your foot, he goes, it was like a volcano of pus. He goes, we had to remove 4 of your bones from your foot because they turned to jelly. I could squeeze them and bend them, so we had to remove those. The infection was deep. He goes, any deeper than it was, we would be having a completely different conversation. So again, please, this is a pretty graphic picture. This is after my final surgery. That cut is longer than it looks. And yes, that is a hole through my foot, under my toe. I could actually watch TV through my foot when I was laying in the bed. The reason that cut is so long is because they had to remove a bone from my foot. They removed the lower, I guess you would call it knuckle, from my toe. And there were bones on either side they had to take out because the infection had gotten to the bone and turned them, literally, he said they were like sponges. He could bend them and squeeze them, so he had to remove them. You can see a little bit of bony left there towards the bottom left. That white part is bone. And believe it or not, it didn't hurt when I first saw it. I was so doped up on morphine, I probably could have walked out of the hospital like that. It was, like I said, I was glad that I could still have a foot to look at that point. I really wasn't upset at all about what it looked like. So I was in that hospital, I think 10 to 13 days, almost 2 weeks. So all told, I was in the hospital over 2 months, a little over 2 months. Now that I'm out, it's difficult. I mean, my foot hasn't completely healed. There's still I guess it's about a 3-inch, like from the middle of the cut hasn't healed. It's still juicy, as I like to call it. The top and bottom have healed, but that middle part hasn't healed. The hole on the bottom of my foot has healed. There is nerve damage, as you probably can imagine. That was a lot of cutting and a lot of removing stuff from my foot. So there's nerve damage on the bottom of my foot. So probably the bottom half to my toes constantly hurts. It's like I'm stepping on Legos or someone's poking me with a knife. It constantly hurts. And I don't know much about nerve damage. So I don't know how long that's going to last. But it's there. And I'm sorry if you chatted with me. I just turned the chat on. I saw it. I'm not ignoring you. I'm sorry. I just saw it. So we have Muhammad Soliman was the guy's name from the breaking news. I don't even want to say his name because he doesn't deserve to be recognized as anything. So there's that. But yeah, back to the foot. I'm glad I still have it. It's painful, extremely painful. It's going to be like that for a while. I really haven't been able to put much weight on it yet. There's bones missing, so when I do walk on it, it feels very weird. It kind of bends in a weird way. So hopefully one of these days I'll get used to that. I don't know. I might not. But like my mama used to tell me before she left this shitty old world, sometimes you got to suck it up, big boy, and just move on. So I'm doing my best. I go see the doctor again tomorrow for some follow-up x-rays, MRIs, scans, and blood work, and we'll see what happens there. So yeah, that's where I've been. I haven't been ignoring anybody. I haven't been rude. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Doing this is therapeutic for me because if I don't have a chance to release all this crap in me, I'd probably have a heart attack. So I will be back every Sunday at 7, and I'll be on Wednesdays at 8 when we do the Pulse on America's Pulse Network. So I'm back, and it's good to be back. Let me tell you, being in a hospital that long is not fun. I don't wish it on anybody. Again, I want to thank Fred Profiter and his daughter Sarah for coming to visit me. Carolyn Poston and my son for coming to see me. My father for coming to see me. Everybody who came to visit me. Matt Breeding, who is I believe he's still the president of the Washington County, Maryland Republican Club. He's also the treasurer for Washington County government. Great guy. I appreciate him coming out. And like I said, if I forget your name, please don't take it personally. I can't remember. I'm getting old. Bear with me. You saw my foot. Come on, give me a break. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's good to be back. Like I said, I still got a long road ahead of me. When I go to work, I have to use a knee scooter. I can't put very much weight on my foot. I can't climb stairs. Can't do ladders. I can't lift anything really over 10 pounds. No running. So if you're going to invite me to a marathon, I'm going to have to say no. I can't make it. No wrestling, so I won't be in the WWE anytime soon. Anything like that. It does make life in general a little more difficult. Like I need to clean my gutters. I can't get up on the ladder. I can't get on the roof. I really can't do much in my yard because again, after I start walking on it after about an hour, I'm done. I got to sit down. I got to elevate it. I can't. Like just sitting here, I can feel my heartbeat in my foot. But it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. So I'm not really complaining. Like I said earlier, I'm just stating facts. And that's that. Let me jump quick to a commercial so we can pay some bills. And then when I come back, we'll get into the meat, the heartbeat and soul of what we're doing.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with Alexandra Levine Live on the America's Pulse Network. You are all in with Alexandra Levine. We are still waiting for someone from the White House to come out and tell us what transpired between President Trump and Vladimir Putin on that call today. We are here live at the White House. We're waiting for White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt to come out and tell us about the updates of today, the call between President Trump and Vladimir Putin, what transpired in that call.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
So, yep, that's the network I'm on now. I was on whatever it was earlier before I left there for reasons that we don't need to get into because I'm not going to give them any free PR because they suck. I'm at a better network that more aligns with my values. So this is where I'm at, and this is where I'll be, like I said, every Sunday at 7 and every Wednesday at 8 on the Pulse. Okay, so the next segment here is stupidity should hurt. I think if stupidity hurt, I think there'd be a lot less stupid people in the world. Most of the stupid stuff that happens in this country is around Democrats and liberals. If you look at democratically run city or Democrat cities and liberally run cities, they are cesspools. They're crime-ridden dumps that nobody would want to live in, and the people that are there are only there because they can't get out. I don't think anybody would choose to live in Detroit or choose to live in Baltimore or choose to live in Chicago because they are cesspools. Crime rates are out of control. There's just so many reasons why people don't want to live there that they're losing people. And like I said, the people that are there are only there because they can't get out, and I feel sorry for them. So the first thing here we have about stupidity should hurt is, excuse me, Baltimore, Maryland. I live in Maryland, so this is about Baltimore. Baltimore public schools, high schools, 40% of the students, 40% of students in those high schools are not and cannot do basic math. Not even the simplest, Mr. Trump says. He said, I can give you your definition of basic. They're talking about adding a few numbers together. Fact sheet presented by the White House said that 13 Baltimore City schools had no students who were proficient on the state math test in 2023. The local TV stations reached out to the Baltimore City schools for comment, but of course they have not heard back because what are they going to say? Yeah, we suck. You're spending all this money on schools and nothing's happening there, but we're making pretty good salaries and driving really nice cars, but don't look behind the curtain, pay no attention to that man. I mean, and people will continually vote for these idiots. They will continually put these morons back in office. Speaking of morons, the grand moron of Maryland, Wes Moore, who really is just a schmuck. I mean, God ruined a perfectly good penis when he put ears on that fool. Hasn't said anything intelligent since he's been in office. And I blame the Republican Party in Maryland for that, especially Larry Hogan, the previous governor, who endorsed the Democrat Governor Wes Moore. The state Republican Party did nothing to promote Dan Cox, who was a Republican running against Wes Moore. So we get this idiot. I agree. It's the way the public schools are run. It's ridiculous, and I agree with the base mother, who's also a guest commentator on this network. How does nobody understand that this is going on by now? Because they choose not to see it. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. They're willfully ignorant. They're choosing to ignore the writing on the wall, and they want to say everything is great. My kid who can't write his own name or even add 1 + 1 is awesome. Baltimore schools are doing a great job. My son's proof of this, or my daughter's proof of this. And I don't blame the kids. The kids are the victims. The students are the victims of this. I blame the adults and the people in charge. Those are where I put the blame. I put it square on their shoulders. They are to blame for all this, all of this. And they are doing nothing to rectify the situation. So these students are being set up for failure. Because I guarantee you, and I'm going to look, so next week when I'm here, I'll be able to answer this. I guarantee you the graduation rate in Baltimore City and Baltimore County from high school is probably in the 90s. So they're not even holding people back. They're just churning out people that can't read and do math by the hundreds every year, sending them out into the real world with no skills and no way to cope. I mean, that's how it is. And I could go on about that for hours. Like I've said before, and I'll say it again, everything starts with education. We need more conservative people on the Board of Education throughout the country, not just Maryland, throughout the country, to ensure that students are getting a balanced education. Not this woke bullshit, not this social justice crap, not this, hey, you can be a boy or a girl and switch during the days, or you could be a tree, or you could be a horse, or you can identify as a whatever. We need people in charge that understand how the real world works and what's needed in the real world. Reading, math, science, history, philosophy. I mean, anything that rounds these kids out so when they get into the world, they're prepared. I mean, I'm not a big supporter of college, never have been. I think college is a waste of money, especially nowadays, and we'll get to that here in a minute. Trade schools. I have always pushed trade schools. Number one, they're half the cost of a college. Number two, you actually learn something you can use. If you go in to learn masonry, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, anything like that, you will guaranteed have a job for the rest of your life. And even most of these schools will help you find a job once you graduate. And when you get out of these schools, these trade schools, you might be in debt $30,000, maybe 40, versus $100,000, $200,000 when you get out of these schools that are run by uneducated fools. Trade school, trade school, trade school. I wish schools would push trade school just as much as they push college. I really wish they would, but they don't. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Military is another good way to go. My son is 15, has already talked about going in the Navy. He wants to be a CB, which is awesome with me. My daughter was in the military. She was in the Navy. I was in the Navy. My brother was in the Air Force. My stepbrother was in the Marines. My other stepbrother was an officer in the Air Force. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the military. Not only do you get taught a skill, you get paid while you're learning. They pay you to learn. It's not a bad deal. Go Navy. All right. If I could give like an Idiot of the Week award, I think this schmuck that I'm coming up to next would probably get it. I'm going to be quiet for a second because I want that to sink in. Just drink that in for a second. Yeah, you can feel the stupid emanating from the screen. I think I just lost 3 IQ points looking at this picture. Allah loves equality. I don't even know where to start. Number one, she's doing this in America. So it's good. She can do that. I don't understand anything these people do. I don't understand why they do this. I like the look on her face, like she just got done sleeping with the neighbor's dog, like she has some secret knowledge that nobody else knows. If she were actually in the Middle East, they'd have chucked her off a rooftop or stoned her to death, one of the two. And she's not. I don't think these people are that stupid that they don't realize that. I think they understand that if they were over there, they would not be allowed to do this. They would be. What's the word I'm looking for? They'd be killed. Yeah, that's exactly it. Gays for Palestine is like chicken for KFC. I mean, I can't imagine. It's just so stupid. It's hard to fathom. The stupidity is just astonishing. I mean, Allah loves equality. No, he doesn't. I mean, there are plenty of videos on YouTube and on Facebook where they have people, Muslim people, assaulting and screaming at homosexual people, threatening them and telling them they're going to die and burn in hell. But she thinks Allah loves equality. Now, I mean, good luck with that. That's going to do you well in the future. I mean, I'll buy you a ticket over the Middle East. You can go hang out in Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, where else? Dubai, any of those places, and wear your rainbow and hold your girlfriend's hand and kiss her in public and see what happens. And when you die, I'll let your parents know you died because you were stupid. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, really. This is what I was talking about before, willfully ignorant. This person is willfully ignorant. They know what they're talking about is wrong. They know it's stupid. I just sent pictures of your foot to Hamas with a message that this is what we that'll scare them. That'll get them. So here's my next moron of the week. Code Pink. I can't begin to express how comical I find these people to be. I really, really can't. I don't take anything they say or do seriously, nor should you. I don't think the 20 members they have take themselves seriously, and if they do, they need serious psychological help. I think the caption to this really, really is good. When all the protests are over and you have to go home alone to all your cats. That picture just tells me that woman probably smells like stale Doritos, cat urine, and shame. And I think she realizes that her life has no meaning. She's wasting it. And that she probably realizes she looks ridiculous with that pussy hat on. I mean, really, how can you take anybody seriously that does this? It's like the leader of Code Pink now is taking it upon herself to support Gaza, like the monster that was throwing Molotov cocktails today, people. The leader of Code Pink, who looks like she's been dead for about 6 years, her brain just hasn't caught on to the fact yet, has taken up the cause to defend Gaza and all the militants and all those horrible human beings that are killing people. And she harasses congressmen and senators, and she thinks she's doing something. She is. She's comic relief. I don't think anybody she talks to takes her seriously. I don't think she has a job. I think she's a very lonely, bitter old woman who realizes she's got one foot in the grave and one foot on the banana peel, and realizes it's just a matter of time before, she's pushing up daisies. She's a full-blown idiot. I don't know if you've seen it. I didn't want to post any of her videos on here because, again, I'm not going to give her any airtime either. But she's a moron who, again, who convinced herself that she's doing good, that she's actually helping people, and she is a force of good. When in all reality, she's an uneducated moron that's got nothing else to do except help people who have jobs. And I'm sure this is what she looks like every time she goes home and she's feeding her 90 cats and staring off into space, thinking to herself, where did I go wrong? Why is my life hollow and meaningless? And I guess I should feed the cats now. I mean, I can't imagine if they like their lives. These people are all miserable, and misery loves company. We all know that. And we go to this one. I mean, I really don't got to say anything about this. These two people have got to be dumb as a bag of hammers. I don't even have to explain it. I mean, it's them. I mean, they are stupid. Pretty stupid. Yes, they are. You got Bernie Sanders, well, I'll give it to you. Bernie Sanders is a smart man. He's a billionaire, owns 4 or 5 houses, but has everybody convinced he's a normal, blue-collar, hard-working American who's just trying to look out for the little guy. He doesn't give a shit about you. Doesn't give a shit about me. He's been in politics all his life and has accomplished zero. Zero. But he's got people convinced he cares about them. The dude even said, I need to fly in a private jet. You expect me to be on a jet with a bunch of other people in case it gets delayed? The man, he's slime. He's like a used car salesman. He'll say anything he's got to say to get elected. And people will listen to him. That's what I don't get. People will listen to him. And the bartender turned congressman, turned millionaire. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand how people like that get reelected. I do, because they get reelected because the people who are voting for them are just as stupid as they are. Just as stupid as they are. She has them all fooled that she really cares, and her main concern is her constituents, and yada yada yada. When in all reality, like the base mother just said, they're both more concerned about building their bank accounts than anything else. I mean, really, she was a bartender. So figure she's in New York. So figure she's making $50-$60 an hour. Maybe had $100,000 in the bank. Now she's like got millions in the bank and and only should be making $100 and some odd $1,000 a year, but now has like $1 million in the bank. Explain that to me. And I know every time you hear, like, well, they're going to investigate them, they're going to find. Have they? No. And if they do, are they going to do anything about it? No. Because if they do something about them, they got to do something about everybody else in Congress who's padded their wallets and their bank accounts with taxpayer money and bullshit. So I don't put any stock in them going, hey, we're going to find out where that money came from. We're going to prosecute. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not impressed. I don't think you're going to do it. But, it looks good. It's a good soundbite. It looks good on CNN or C-SPAN. And you might get a few people to vote for you more than you normally have. But I don't believe it until I see something happen. They're going to keep getting rich off of us while we're having a hard time making ends meet. It's been like that since time immemorial. So it's going to continue to be like that until, like I said before, we the people stand up and say enough's enough. You know what? Like I've said before, and I'll say it again, if you become a congressman or senator, your pay should be based on the mean salary of the state you represent. So if you come from a state that's poor and the mean salary in that state is only $45,000 a year, guess what your Congress and senators are making from that state? $45,000 a year. If they want to make more money, they better better their state and raise that mean salary so all their people are making more money. Then they can make more money. But if they can't do it, they don't get a raise. You don't get free health care. You got to pay for it like everybody else does. When you get out of Congress, you don't have to keep all that stuff for the rest of your life. The minute you're out, you're out. You lose everything. Go find a real job, you bum. Stop living off of me. Stop living off of you guys. Get a job. What's the over-under on me having a stroke on air again? I forgot. I think it was like, 4 shows, more than 4, less than 7 shows or something like that. But really, I mean, these people are using us. And most of us don't care because we don't have the time to worry about it because, I got to work. I don't have time to worry about what these people are doing. But I'm telling you, nobody becomes a millionaire in the government without taking money from someone. And I think that someone is us. Take it as you will. I'm telling you, it's good work if you can find it. So yeah, that stupidity should hurt. If heartbeat and breathing weren't involuntary, there'd be dead people everywhere. I'm telling you right now, if you had to concentrate on having your heart beat and breathe, we wouldn't have an idiot problem in this world because they'd all be dead. They would, I forgot to breathe. Telling you, it's crazy out there, and it's getting crazier. All right, we'll be right back. Got to pay the bills again.
Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country, America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
So yep, that's the network I'm on. I got a lot of people on here that do a lot of good stuff. It's running on the ticker at the bottom. And I'll give you the dates and times of their shows so you can make sure you catch them. Good people. I don't know if you caught the pictures on the side. It showed Damon Galdo from the Jersey Shore. That picture makes him look like an enforcer from the mob. I mean, he is from Jersey, so it's a possibility. But he looks like one of those guys that comes to your house at 2 a.m. He goes, "Duh, the boss ain't happy. You owe us money." Him and like Tony Nunzio with his nose pointing north. He's a good guy, though. I like giving him a hard time just because he's from Jersey. My people are from New York, so there's that back and forth. So, to be on today's show twice, you have really got to be doing a piss poor job of running your country or your county or your state or your city. You have to be doing a piss poor job. Baltimore has made it twice on this show. Not simply because I live in Maryland and Baltimore is 45 minutes down the road from me, but because it's run by complete and utter morons. I'm pretty sure my 15-year-old son could run that city better. And he could do it part-time while going to 9th grade and just kind of show up once in a while, do some things, and then go back to school, and the city would be much, much better. So they're going to start with this. Trump has not likely, they have declared Baltimore a sanctuary city, and hopefully they will cut funding to the city. I don't know if you've been to Baltimore recently. I know Alexandra Levine, who's on here, Levine Consulting, has gone to Baltimore frequently. I think she lives pretty close to Baltimore. She can attest to this as well. Baltimore City is the world's biggest outdoor shooting range. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. Again, the people that live there have no other choice. They can't get out. They're stuck there, economical reasons or they just can't. Decent people, when they go to Baltimore, leave at sunset. The Inner Harbor, if you're familiar with it, had like a bunch of restaurants and like shops and had the Maryland Science Center, the aquarium, the power plant, and had a bunch of stuff you could do. Most of those malls, if you want to call them, have shut down or only have 1 or 2 open places in them anymore. It's not a safe place to be. You've got morons that ride their dirt bikes and 4-wheelers on the road, disrupting traffic, and nobody does anything about it. You've got the squeegee boys. I don't know if there's such an issue anymore, but you've got thugs on the corner that run up to your car and wash your window regardless of what you say and then demand money. All around, it's like a Mad Max post-apocalyptic city. It's nothing to go to and nothing to hang out in. It's not a safe city. It's dirty. Overall, again, I would rather have to spend the night in Thunderdome than have to spend the night in Baltimore. So Trump and his administration have said, hey, Baltimore, you are a sanctuary city. We're going to cut funding unless you do something about it. So once again, it's not what Trump is doing. It's how people are reacting to it. He's just pointing out, hey, you made a mistake. Correct it. Most people go, yeah, you know, you're right. Let me take care of this, because the taxpayers and the citizens, you know, the natural citizens or legal citizens of this country deserve better. They deserve better in my city. I'm going to do what I can to clean this up. Give me a couple months or give me a year and let me see how I can fix this. That's what a normal person with an IQ above a houseplant would say. So, but we're dealing with Baltimore. They don't have an IQ above a houseplant when it comes to people in charge there. They are idiots. They are self-absorbed, egotistical morons that think they know better than everybody else, that think they don't have to do anything that they don't want to do, because it's all about me, me, me. More to the point, it's all about getting reelected. What do I got to do to appeal to the most people in my city to guarantee I could keep my crooked, uneducated, stupid ass in office for another 4 years and live off the government, live off the public tip? That's what it boils down to. It's not so much about, hey, how do I help taxpayers? How do I help better the citizens that are legally here and naturally an American citizen? How do I help better their lives? What more can I do for them to make their lives easier in my city? That's what you'd hope to hear. Let's see what the mayor of Baltimore responded, how he responded. Mayor Scott's statement on the Trump administration listing Baltimore as a sanctuary jurisdiction. To be clear, by definition, Baltimore is not a sanctuary city because we do not have jurisdiction over our jails. Because we follow our limited obligations as defined under federal immigration law. But we are a welcoming city. See, whenever someone's talking to you, go, you know what? I'm really sorry what happened to you, and I didn't mean to do it. But what that means is everything I just said before, but ignore. What I'm saying now is what I mean. But we are a welcoming city, and we make no apologies for that. They're a welcoming city. Crime's out of control. Unemployment's ridiculous. The city's filthy. Nobody wants to be there. But they're a welcoming city, and he makes no apologies for that because he can't apologize for it. He's the one causing it. We are better because of our immigrant neighbors. Well, number one, immigrant implies that they're legally, that they've followed the process. They've taken an oath. They pay their taxes, and they do what they're supposed to do. So we're not talking about immigrants. We are talking about criminals. If you're in this country illegally, by definition, you're a criminal. We are better because of our immigrant neighbors. We are not about to sell them out to this administration. So what he's saying is, screw the law. We're going to do what we want to do. Doesn't matter if the taxpayers are funding this. Doesn't matter if there are legal citizens from other countries in this country who, again, follow the process. We don't care that they did that. We're going to reward the people who skipped line, came in illegally. We're going to defend them and make sure that they can stay at the cost of everybody else. It's ridiculous. And it bothers me that this is allowed to happen, that he's not being charged with some crime or he's not being impeached. And since he's not being impeached, that should answer the question of what are there other morons in Baltimore City office? Yes, there's a lot of idiots in Baltimore City office, obviously, because they're backing this moron. He's an idiot, truly an idiot. Baltimore remains committed to protecting the rights, dignity, and well-being of all our residents. Obviously, you're not. You're not worried about all your residents because you've just said above you're worried about your immigrant neighbors, i.e. illegal aliens. Nowhere here does it say, hey, we're going to stick up for our taxpayers. Nowhere here does it say we're going to stick up for, legal immigrants. It doesn't say anything about that. It just says because of our immigrant neighbors, we are not about to sell them out to this administration. So he doesn't care about all your residents. He doesn't. He said it. He's telling you, I don't care about you. I've told you in the above paragraph who I'm concerned about. We are exploring all options to protect our immigrant neighbors. There you go. So it's not about all our residents. It's about protecting our immigrant neighbors and the funding appropriated to our city by Congress, including litigation. So he's going to take taxpayer money, possibly, to file a lawsuit to protect criminals. That's right. If you pay taxes in Baltimore City, he's saying he's going to use your money to get a lawyer to defend people there who are there illegally taking your money. So they're going to take more money from you and spend it on people who are taking money from you to defend them, to see if they can keep them in the country or in the city. And this man was elected to office. This moron, this steaming pile of shit was elected to office, and he's telling the taxpayers in Baltimore City, I'm going to take your money to protect criminals. I'm going to spend taxpayers' money on some shyster lawyer who's going to go to court and try to defend criminals who are taking your money because they're using welfare. They're not paying taxes. They're using city services. They're using public transportation, using all these things, and I guarantee you less than 10% are paying anything towards this. But he's going to take more money from you to pay for them, and he's going to do it with a smile on his face and look you right in the eye and tell you he cares about you. He doesn't care about you. If you live in Baltimore City, don't be a fool. This man is hustling you. He's a hustler. That's what he is. Don't be a sucker. Vote him out of office. I would rather have a loaf of bread run the city of Baltimore if I live there than this asshole. Truly, a loaf of wheat bread could do a better job than this idiot. This guy is half a moron, and he's taking your money. He's telling you he's going to take your money and going to use it on criminals, and nobody's saying a word about it. And he's got the balls, the gall to say Trump's wrong, that he's a bad guy, he's a criminal. That's what he's got the balls to do, and nobody is calling him out on this. Nobody. There are people defending this moron. You know, sometimes I just don't have anything to say. It's just, stupid. He's stupid. But then again, he's not so stupid. He keeps getting reelected, and they keep paying him, and he keeps robbing you all, and you keep putting him back. So he's not stupid. He's smart enough to get some of those fools to continually vote for him and put him back in office. So he's not as dumb as he looks. Crazy like a fox, right? He's got everybody fooled that he cares about all the residents in Baltimore City. Trump's wrong. We care about our immigrant neighbors. No, you don't. Care about your ass being in office. And you think there's enough. Well, there are enough liberal morons in that city that if you make a big enough stink about protecting illegal aliens and paying a lawyer to defend them, that those morons will vote for you and put you back in office. That's what you care about. You don't care about what's going on. You care about your next term. That's all you care about. Don't vote for this guy. Don't vote for anybody in any state, any county, any city in this country that puts illegal immigrants in front of taxpayers. If he's willing to take taxpayers' money to hire lawyers to litigate a case to defend criminals, to allow them to remain in your city, he doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about you. I can't make it any clearer. They don't care about you. This mayor in Baltimore doesn't care about the people in the city. If he did, he wouldn't be spending taxpayers' dollars on this. He'd be like, you know what? Like I said earlier, all right, you know what? We're wrong. We're going to correct the situation. Give me a year. Give me a year to clean up the city. That letter he wrote, that's all it should say is one paragraph. President Trump, you're correct. We want to keep the funding from the federal government. Give us a year. We're going to clean up the city as best we can. Any advice or any suggestions would be more than welcome. Sincerely, the Honorable Mayor Dickhead, whatever his name is. But he's not doing that. He's not. And if you live in Baltimore City, that's all you should need to know about that man. He doesn't care about you. He says in that letter, he does not care about you. He cares about the illegal immigrants and making sure they can stay. So he's going to use your taxpayers' money not to fix city streets, not to improve city services, not to hire more police officers. Because remember, Baltimore City is down 700 officers. There are sections in that city that can't be covered because the manpower is not there. So rather than take care of the city, he's going to take care of the illegal immigrants and put everybody else in harm's way, or they're going to have to sacrifice services or whatever. He's telling you this. So if you vote for him again, and I hear you bitching and moaning that Baltimore City's a dump, I'm going to laugh in your face and go, you put him in office, you clown. You get what you vote for. Elections have consequences. He's a consequence of election. And I'm not saying that vote for the other Democrat that runs. I'm saying stop voting for Democrats. They destroy everything they touch. They destroy it. They ruin it. And not over like a decade. It happens almost immediately. Within their first term, they destroy everything that has been built up. They destroy it. And they don't care because they know liberals are stupid people that look for the letter after a candidate's name, and that's all they vote for. That's all they vote for is the D or the R. And Republicans are the same way. We've got rhinos that are just as bad as liberal as this mayor douchebag, that are just as bad as Governor Moore, or just as bad as the other liberals in D.C. or anywhere in the state. They're just as bad, if not worse. Don't vote for them either. I'm telling you, I hope the Republican Party burns. And that way we can rebuild it from the ground up with the right people who really care about the country, who really care about their constituents, who really care about their city, their county, their state, and this country. Because what we got now, in general, so don't send me any nasty emails and say, hey, you're attacking the Republican Party. I'm attacking those that need to be attacked. And if you have to ask yourself, is he attacking me? You've got your answer. The Republican Party needs to go. It needs to be rebuilt. We have too many rhinos. We have too many people more concerned about the next step up in the ladder for them, that they're not focused on the people. They're not focused on the problems. They're focused on the next election or the next promotion they can get. That's the problem. They don't even hide it anymore. A perfect example in Maryland is when Dan Cox and Wes Moore were running for office of governor. Dan Cox got the nomination for the Republican Party. He didn't kiss the ring, so the Republican Party turned their back on him in Maryland and actually campaigned and endorsed Wes Moore, the Democrat. And I know you all don't believe me, like that didn't happen. Look it up. I'm not lying. It's that simple. The Republican Party is not what it used to be. Everything has gone downhill. The Democrat Party isn't what it used to be. The Republican Party isn't what it used to be. And how do I know the Republican Party isn't what it used to be? They're attacking Trump. You got Republicans that are working against Trump. I know. See, I could never, ever be president of this country because I would be like throat punching people 3 or 4 times a day. Really, I would be like, you know what? You don't even care about your state that you represent. Right in the throat. Really, I would probably be arrested immediately. Secret Service would have to tackle me. I would be kicking people in the balls and fucking chopping them in the throat. Like, dude, this is not supposed to be a career. You're supposed to be here to help the people. And if you can't do that, I don't want you here. But it's not like that anymore. And do I agree with everything Trump does? No. And I don't expect anybody else to do. But when he comes up with a good idea and a good plan and it helps the majority of the people in this country, God damn it, support it. Really, support it. Like the big, beautiful bill, I don't see anything wrong with it. With no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, Social Security, something like all sorts of things. And there are Republicans that are fighting against it. Oh, it's going to take away from this service. No, it's not. Jesus Christ, like people were fighting with Doge because they were cutting funding from stuff like what? Teaching lesbian dance theory in Zimbabwe at like $2 million a year. We need to stop worrying about everybody else in the world and worry about our own country. We got enough problems in this country that could keep us occupied for a good, 4 or 5 decades. First thing I think we need to worry about in this country is the homeless veteran situation. There you go. But the liberals and Democrats are finding a reason to be against that. And there'd be rhinos that'd be against that too. I could really. So if somebody ever asks, why doesn't Seth run for office again? Because Seth would be in jail. He would be locked up almost immediately for assaulting people. And you know what? That might be needed. We might need to do that. Maybe we start kicking people's asses that aren't putting the country first. We'll have less morons, less rhinos, and less libs running for office because, like, shit, they're going to kick my ass. I'm not running for office. Holy crap, no way in hell. Who knows? Maybe that'll happen one day. I don't know. And I'm not advocating violence, so don't anybody start spewing that bullshit. I'm just saying we need to stand up and take this country back. We, the people. We, the people, are in charge. Not we, the government. It's we, the people. Yeah, and get rid of Section 8 from Fort Howard. I mean, there's just so many things that aren't done for the good of people, but are done for the good of the government and for the good of the members of Congress or whatever to get elected. They don't care about us. They haven't cared about us for a while. And again, I'm talking in generalities. Like I said, I went to the VA for my foot. Great doctors, great nurses. The facility was from the 1930s. You can ask Fred Profiter, when I have him on as a guest on the show, he'll tell you the same thing. Him and his daughter came to visit me. It's not up to date. They do the best they can with what they got, and they do a damn good job. Don't get me wrong, damn good job. But it's outdated. They really need to update it. But they don't get the money. That money goes to, teaching people how to breastfeed a monkey in Colombia, paid for by the U.S. government to the tune of like $1 billion. That's where the money goes. Not to this country, because liberals don't like this country. They hate this country. They hate us. They're more concerned about the other rest of the world. They don't care if we all of a sudden turn to a third world nation, as long as we can help people in lower Peru learn how to tango on our dime. That's what they care about. They want to look like the good guys to other people, not to us. So yeah, there's a lot of things they could spend money on that they should, if they don't. And I'm not just blaming the liberals. I'm blaming the rhinos in Congress and Senate too. That would rather be liked than do the right thing. That want to get invited to all the right parties and get their 90-pound heads in front of the camera whenever they possibly can. That's what I'm talking about. Again, we could erase all these problems by making everybody in political office, they're paid based on the mean salary of their state, city, or county. I guarantee you we would lose all the rhinos, most of the liberals. We'd have people that want to actually help. Genuine, concerned statesmen and women that want to be a public servant and want to do the right thing for their people. If we do that, that would happen. But you know what? That will never happen. Have you ever heard anybody in Congress go, hey, you know what? I think we make too much money. Yeah, I think we're making a lot. I don't think we should be making this. Let's cut our pay in half. What do you say, fellas? That guy would suicide himself like 20 minutes later. Oh, yeah, we just found Bob in the bathroom. Apparently, he stabbed himself in the back 74 times and then hung himself. It was crazy. I knew he was depressed, but I never thought he would do this. That's what should happen. Cut their salary. Let's start getting people who really want to work for the people, really want to put in the effort, really want to do the job. Not the ones that are there trying to get through their term and then make millions of dollars on the lecture circuit. We don't need those anymore. That doesn't work. It's not helping us. Middle class is getting squeezed. The poor are getting poorer. The rich are starting to suffer a little bit now too. And everyone's says, well, Trump's gonna turn this all around. Trump's gonna do that. Trump is one man, and you can see he's not getting much help from anybody. He can only do what he can do. Keep that in mind. The man is not Jesus. Don't put all this on him and expect, oh, here you go, fix it. He's one man. And he's only got 4 years because he can't run again. And I'm going on record right now. And I could lose all the followers I have, that's fine. Because the one thing is, if you're watching me, I respect you enough to be honest with you. If he tries to run for a third term, I will work against him. It's that simple. Constitution says 2 terms, that's it. If he tries to run for president as a third term, I will be the first one out there marching against him. I won't go for that. Now, if he runs for vice president or Congress, that's fine, because he can do that. But if he tries to go for a third term as president, I, Seth Eisenberg, host of the Conservative Corner, will be out there working against him. And if that pisses anybody off, or you're like, oh, you're not an American, there's 2 things you can do about it, that's nothing and like it. It's that simple. I will not support that, and I hope you don't either. And I hope you wouldn't support that with any president. And I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not saying he's meant what he said. I'm just saying, should that come to pass, I'm not going to go for that. It's just, and that would be for anybody, not just him, anybody. because that's how a dictatorship starts. That's how a monarchy starts. That's how things turn bad really quick. So yeah, I would be against that. But while he's in office, I will fully support him on what I agree with. And again, I don't agree with everything he says. I don't. I don't know anybody that does. But what I agree with, I'm on par with him probably 90 to 93% of what he says I agree with. And what I'm on par with, I will support 100%. I will come on here and tell you that it's a great idea. It's a big, beautiful bill. It's a great idea. Great idea. Closing the border, great idea. We got to do that. Mass deportations, great idea. We got to do that. Want to run for a third term? No, you lost me. You lost me. I can't go there with you. But I will agree and defend everything I agree with him. And like I said, it's about 93%. I'm on board with him. But I can't do the third term. I hope he was kidding. I hope he was just joking. And he's a New Yorker. My father's a New Yorker. I know how New Yorkers are. They're bigger than life. They have no filter. If it's on their mind, they're saying it to you. And then they might go, oh, wait, well, I shouldn't have said that. Damn. Oh, well. So I get it. So I'm hoping that was just a New Yorker thing. Like, I'm going to run for third term. Like, just thinking out loud. Like, making a joke. Well, that's how I'm going to take it right now. He was just making a joke, an off-cuff comment. Just nothing to it. Just third term. I'm a New Yorker. Suck it up. Man, this is tiring. Am I sweating? Whew. All right. I'm going to do the bills one more time, then we'll be back. And I'll keep ranting and screaming and frothing.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
So yeah, America's Pulse Network is where to be. Great crew, great shows, great podcasts. I mean, if you haven't watched them all, again, you need to watch them, and I'll kind of go over the schedule here in a little bit. So I want to talk about something I touched on a minute ago. Round them up and get them out of here. It's really that simple. If you're here illegally, they've given you a chance to self-deport, which would give you a chance to come back at some future date legally. If you've chosen to ignore that, these gentlemen in the vests that say ICE are coming for you, and I hope they get you soon. And let's be clear, most of the people they're rounding up have been in this country for years. It's not like they've been here a day and they're getting caught. These people have been here for years. They have families, like they say. They have jobs. They're established. And in no time in that span of time that they've been here, they've just tried to be here legally. They have not tried to file and fill the paperwork out and do what's required to be a legal citizen here. They've flaunted our laws, laughed at us, and stayed here. And now that the bill has come due, and people are like, well, you know what, we're coming for you. Now it's wrong. Now I have a family. I'm established. I have a job. I'm a member of my community. No, you're a criminal who's also lazy and had all the chances in the world to just apply. All you had to do was apply. And I'm talking to you. Apply. Fill out the paperwork. Is it ridiculous? Does it need to be tweaked a little bit? Yes, I agree. Become a citizen should be a little more streamlined. It shouldn't take decades. It should take 5 years. That way they can vet you. You can take the classes, you can learn the language, you can learn the history of the country, and then take a test in English. And if you pass that test, you become a citizen, and I'll welcome you with open arms. I'll help you whatever I can. But if you're a lazy piece of shit that's been here for a decade and not taking any steps to become a citizen, AMF, good luck. Go back to your third world shithole and cry your blues there, because I don't want to hear it. There are too many people that came to this country and followed the process, applied, and did the right thing for anybody to support a lazy bum. And I don't care if you got a family. I don't care. It doesn't matter. These people had families too, and they still followed the process. They still applied. They did what they had to do to get here. They did it the right way. They did it the legal way, and they're citizens. You're no better than them. You are not special, and you are not more important. And if you can't follow the goddamn rules, you're not wanted and you're not welcome. AMF. It's that simple. And if that pisses people off, well, you know what? That's not the first time in my life I've pissed people off. And I can guarantee you it will not be the last. I just don't understand the rationale behind it. Like, I know I'm here illegally. I've been here like 15, 20 years. Maybe at some point I should try to become a legal citizen. Nah, I'm not. And when they come for you, oh, this is not fair, you're a fascist. Blah. No, dude. You had 20 years to become a citizen. They gave you 20 years, and you decided not to. No pity. I don't feel sorry for you. Not at all. Not at all. And this is another thing that gets me. Oh, my God, this gets me. Can someone point to the American flag in this protest, please? I'll wait, because I can't see one. These are illegal immigrants complaining about being thrown out of the country they want to stay in by flying the flag of the country they left. So please, someone show me where the American flag is, because I can't see. I see a lot of Mexican flags. I see a sign that says, "We are not taking your jobs. AI is." I see a lady with a bullhorn screaming into it. But I don't see a single American flag here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7 or 8 flags from a foreign country being flown in America as a protest, being sent back to these countries whose flags are flying. And this is supposed to endear them to us. We're supposed to feel like, oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for these people. You know, they're obviously just stand-up citizens of this country, and they want to stay here. I mean, look at them. They're flying the Mexican flag. They must really love this country. No, this makes me want to get them out of here more. Really does. Like, you know, I'll help you pack. Let's go. If I could, like, volunteer for ICE, I would volunteer, and I would help round up these people, because they've had plenty of time to do it the right thing, and they've decided not to. And there are still people out there that will defend them and say they have a right to be. No one's illegal. Are murderers illegal? Are rapists illegal? If somebody breaks into your house and steals stuff from you, are they illegal? What makes this crime more acceptable? Especially when it doesn't have to be a crime. All they got to do is start the process. That is it. Start that process. Get it rolling. Get it working. But they haven't. So how should I feel sorry for someone like that? I don't. Maybe I'm heartless. Maybe I'm just a pain in the butt. I don't know. But I can't feel sorry for someone that has had the opportunity to do the right thing, and time again has decided not to. Has decided to turn their back on our laws, do what they want to do, and then, like I said, when the bill comes due, then they have a problem. Now it's a problem. I'm here legally. Blah, 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 blah. I don't get it. And I never will. And maybe I don't have to get it. Maybe we don't have to understand their frame of thought or why they're doing what they're doing. Maybe we just need to look at it as a black and white issue. Are you following the laws? Have you taken steps to become citizens? Nope. Goodbye. Why there's a disconnect there is not my concern. I don't want to hear the reasons why you've decided not to apply for citizenship. I don't care why you didn't. I don't care why you came to this country. You could have applied for, as a refugee. Like, I'm in danger. There are so many ways you could have come to this country legally, and you decided not to. You decided to come in the back door and just be an idiot. And I don't feel sorry for you when they catch you and they throw you out. I don't. And if you're worried about your family getting broken up, you can take them with you. You can pack up the entire family and go. They don't have to stay here without you. So stop using that as an excuse. This really bothered me. Law enforcement reps discussed it after illegal alien allegedly kills Air Force recruit. They said there will be others. Law enforcement leaders criticized open borders after an 18-year-old Ava Moore was allegedly killed by an illegal alien in Texas. You can find headlines like this everywhere. Everywhere. It's not just, ooh, I gotta search and look. They're everywhere. And that's what I don't get. People, I mean, is it apathy? People just don't care? I mean, I want to ask a liberal, literally, this doesn't bother you? Well, we have criminals of our own in this country. Exactly. We don't need to import more. We have enough in our own country. Why do we want to invite other people's bullshit here? Why do we want to tolerate people from another country killing our citizens? Why? They're liberals. So logics, in fact, escape them. It'll probably make their ears bleed. You think I'm kidding? That is like kryptonite to them. I feel sorry for their family. I feel sorry for everybody who's been a victim of illegal aliens crime. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's bad enough when an American citizen kills another American citizen. That's tragic enough. But when an illegal alien kills an American citizen, and all we had to do to stop it was close the borders or deport them, could have been prevented. That's what bothers me the most. It was preventable. I'll never understand that. Liberals are going to be the downfall of this country. I believe that in social media. I mean, you go on Facebook, you got the keyboard commandos, Mikey Macho, Tony Tough Guy, Joey Bag of Donuts, all got something to say. Oh, they know everything. They're not illegal immigrants. They have every right to be here. You're an illegal immigrant. We stole this land from the American Indian. You're a colonizer. All sorts of bullshit they say to make themselves feel better. And they're all doing it online because they do it online because they know you can't reach out and punch them in the mouth. They are safe in their basement wearing their tidy whities eating a pudding pop because they know you can't just smack the shit out of them for running their mouth. It's ridiculous. It's like these people that support Gaza, like that monster in Colorado. They sit online and will tell you, they will spout anti-Semitic stuff and tell you, hope Israel gets nuked, or I hope the Jews are killed, long live Gaza, blah, blah, blah. Because they know in real life, if they came to you and said that in your face, most of us would knock their teeth down their throat and then curb check them. Because those people aren't productive members of society. They're a drain. They are useless and meaningless. They are miserable human beings to try to make everybody around them miserable. They serve no purpose other than to spread hate. That's their purpose. And they'll defend the indefensible. They'll try to talk down the Constitution and say, no, these illegal aliens should be here. No, Hamas had every right to do what they did on October 7th. No, we need to be in Ukraine dumping billions of dollars into a war that doesn't affect us. They will defend these things with very little to no knowledge of the situation other than what they hear on CNN or what they hear from other morons on Facebook or Twitter or X spewing out and take that as gospel. Like this. I mean, you've got these idiots that want to stay in the country, and they're showing you they want to stay here by flying the flag of a foreign country that they left. If they like that country so much that they're flying their flag, go back there. Why is there even an argument at this point? Why are you fighting to stay here if you like that country you left so much? It's aggravating. It's a lot. So, like, before I ended each show, I had like an opinion that I want to share with everybody. Again, this is my opinion. It doesn't reflect the network. It doesn't reflect anybody else except me. You're welcome to agree with it, disagree with it, ignore it, or whatever. It's just my opinion. Illegal aliens waving Mexican flags at anti-deportation rallies is an audacious slap in the face to the nation they're unlawfully infiltrating. It's not just a rejection of the host country's sovereignty. It's a blatant, in-your-face celebration of their refusal to respect our laws, our culture, or our identity. Parading foreign flags while demanding immunity from deportation isn't a plea for compassion. It's a middle finger to the very concept of national borders and our rule of law. These individuals aren't just breaking the law by crossing illegally. They're doubling down by flaunting allegiance to another nation while insisting on reaping the benefits of the one they violated. This behavior reeks of entitlement, hypocrisy, and ignorance. If the goal is to build a life in a new country, why cling to the symbols of the one you left behind, especially at a rally against the enforcement of laws meant to protect the nation's integrity? It is a deliberate provocation, signaling that assimilation is not their goal. Domination is. The Mexican flag, in this context, becomes a weapon, wielded to assert cultural supremacy over a nation already strained by the cost of illegal immigration. It's a visual declaration that they're here to take, they're here to consume, and not to contribute. The economic and social toll makes this display even more infuriating. Illegal immigration drains resources, with estimates from the Federation of American Immigration Reform, that's a mouthful, pegging the annual cost of over $150 billion with a B, and that's for 2023, covering everything from healthcare to education to incarceration. Low-skilled workers bear the brunt as illegal labor undercuts wages and jobs. When rally goers wave foreign flags while demanding to stay, they're spitting in the face of citizens who bear these costs, mocking the very system they exploit. It's not just tone deaf, it's a calculated insult. Public sentiment is already sour on this issue. A 2024 Gallup poll showed 70% of Americans want stricter immigration enforcement, with many citing crime, economic strain, and cultural erosion. Waving a Mexican flag at an anti-deportation rally pours gasoline on that resentment, confirming every stereotype of illegal immigrants as ungrateful interlopers who prioritize their former homeland over the one they're demanding to stay in. It's a losing strategy, alienating even those who might sympathize with their cause. If their home country is so wonderful, just go back already. Defenders might whine that it's just cultural pride. Bullshit. It isn't a fiesta. It's a protest against laws meant to protect the nation's border. Choosing a foreign flag over the one of the country they're begging to remain in isn't pride. It's contempt. It screams, we're here, we're not leaving, and we don't care about your rules or your country. If that's the message, don't be surprised when the response is a louder call for more deportation. Again, that's just my opinion. You do not have to like it. You don't even have to listen to it. You can ignore it or do what you want to do with it. So before I wrap up, I want to let everybody know that, again, this is America's Pulse Network. A lot of great podcasts on here, a lot of great podcasters. We have the Based Mother, who's not a podcaster, but she's a guest host, I guess. It comes on Wednesdays and talks about things. Great lady, awesome woman. We argue, but I love her to death. So I'm glad she hangs out. I'm glad she's here. We have Alexandra with Levine Consulting. It's Alexandra Levine Live, Tuesday and Thursday at 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And she's also on the Pulse with me and the Based Mother on Wednesdays, 8 to 9 p.m. Then we have Damon the Hammer Gallo from the Jersey Shore. His podcast is Friday at 8 p.m. He also has a radio show that's Thursday 5 to 6 on Cruisin' 92.1 WVLT. And he's also, when he's not enforcing or doing collections for the mob, he's also here on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock for the Pulse. I can't stress enough how the lineup we have and how educated, how passionate, and how just good these people are. I'm like the weak link of all this. I'm the guy that comes on and screams and yells and pounds my chest and then watches that vein pop out of my forehead, coughs a lot, drinks a lot, curses, and overall just gets angry. But hey, sometimes that's what we need. Every once in a while, we need someone that slaps us in the face and goes, "Hey, Joey Jerkoff, wake up. Things aren't as good as people are telling you. Open your eyes. Stop watching life and be a participant in it. Get involved. Say something." Like I've said before, I applaud anybody who exercises their constitutional rights. I may not agree with how they do it. I may not agree with what they do, but I will always support their right to do it as long as it's following the Constitution. Go for it. I was in the military. That's what I was in for, to make sure you could do what you want to do within the confines of the Constitution. And remember, the Constitution isn't there to restrict us. It's there to lay the groundwork for what the government can and can't do. It's not for us. It's for them. And they're starting slowly, well, not slowly, they're forgetting the rules. They're doing what they want to do when they want to do it, and I blame us for that. We should be calling them out. We should be saying, hey, that's not cool. Yeah. Well, it is about that magic time here. Again, I'm glad to be back. It's going to be a long road. Like I said, you've all seen the pictures. It was kind of horrible. So, if there were any issues tonight with the show, I apologize. This is a new platform I'm using. I'm not used to it. I did have the executive producer here who could step in and help me if I, went to tag out. So I want to thank him, Damon Sherrod, for being here. He's a good guy. He puts up with my bullshit, so that makes him almost a saint, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to check on the rules of sainthood, but I think he should be canonized at some point for that. I'll be back every Sunday at 7, God willing, and Wednesdays at 8 on the Pulse with, again, Damon the Hammer, Alexandra, TimFazenbaker is also a great guy. He'll be on the Pulse. He's a good guy. Again, and also the bass mother will be on from. I think she'll be on more than she's not, which is good. Like I said, I need someone that keeps me in line, and she does that very well. Great group of people. I can't stress it enough. If you want to, we will welcome it. We are looking for sponsorship, so if you're interested in that, you can contact Damon Sherrod, again, the executive producer. We can help you up. You can have your name attached to me, which I'm sure scares the shit out of a lot of people. So maybe you don't want to be with me. Maybe you want to be with the other people, which is fine. But again, you can contact Damon Sherrod, and he will be more than glad to walk you through that process. But yeah, I'm just here to have fun. Again, I'm not here to convince you of anything or talk you into anything. More to the point, I'm here to make sure I don't stroke out. This is my release. I share my opinions with you, and I hope I make you think about some things rather than just blindly follow what you read and what you see on social media. If I do that, that's great. That's what I want to do. I want you to think, and you don't have to agree with me. If everybody watching agreed with everything I said, this would be such a boring world. Disagree with me. I am more than willing to have constructive conversations, constructive debate, constructive back and forth with anybody. I'm easy to get a hold of. Conservative Seth on X, the Conservative Corner on Facebook. I will go back and forth with anybody as long as it's constructive and as long as it's civil. I don't want to get to a back and forth name calling and stuff like that because that's not constructive and it's not going to do anything. If you want to have a conversation because you want to make things better, I am more than willing to hear you out and talk with you. It's really that simple. I keep leaning in to see the time because these glasses suck and I'm getting old. And I think I said it before this past Wednesday on the Pulse. If you're a Jewish student and you're having a problem getting to class at your college, let me know. I will take my big ass to where you're at and I will make sure you get to class. Trust me, you'll get to class. Because none of those pencil neck geeks that wear the kippahs and walk around with their face covered up defending Palestine are going to stop me. I'll eat their lunch. Really. I will walk a mud hole in their chest and stomp it dry. They're not going to stop me. I'll get you to class. And if I can't, trust me, I know some big boys that have got nothing better to do with their time than explain to those kids the error of their ways. So please contact me if you're having trouble getting to class. Really, let this big redneck Jew come help you. Because I hate bullies and I hate anti-Semitism. So those people kind of fall into both categories for me. So I'll be more than glad to help you. I think I've run out of stuff to say. That's crazy. This is my first time doing an hour and a half, so I hope I kept it engaging. I hope I entertained you. If not, let me know, and I'll have to work on something else. But next Sunday, 7 o'clock here, I'll be back, and we'll talk about a whole other bunch of stuff that pisses me off and gets me going. But yeah, you guys have been great. I'll see you Wednesday night at 8 on the Pulse. Have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, what little bit's left. Hope you have a fabulous work week. I know that's kind of weird to say, but I hope you enjoy it and it goes by quick. And before you know it, we're back here again next Sunday hanging out, talking about all sorts of stupid things and things we need to fix. And if my son's watching, sorry I cussed, buddy. Sometimes your old man just gets worked up. And it's also because, I was a sailor. And we cuss. You know the saying, cuss like a sailor. Thank you. Thank you, base mother. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're entertained. Thank you, Alexandra. I love you too. I love everybody. Even if you're a lib, I love you. We're all in this together. We're all just trying to fix a problem coming at it from different angles. And we need to get past that and work together. Because we always want to make this better for ourselves, our family, and our children, and our children's children. At the end of the day, that's what we want. We need to stop fighting. We need to work together. And I'm not a big man on compromise, so I'm not compromising anything. But if we can meet somewhere and work together, I'd be willing to do that. And remember, like I always say, if you live your life based on your principles and not a party, you're going to live a pretty good life. Y'all have a good evening, and I'll see you Wednesday.